He is a gig worker trying to make money using his car. He uses multiple gig apps all at the same time to maximize his earnings. But this can be difficult and dangerous while driving. Sometimes the requests come in so fast, Joe can't pick and choose the best trips to take, which can result in lower pay or lower rated disruptive passengers. That was until Joe found Maximo, the automation app that helps gig workers accept and decline trip requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and rating, to determine which trips are best suited for Joe. When a trip request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will compare the trip details to Joe's filters and then determine if it should automatically accept the trip, decline the trip, or allow Joe to decide by showing the per mile and per minute rates. When a trip has been accepted, Maximo will turn off the other apps that aren't on a trip. Once Joe finishes a trip, Maximo will turn everything back on. This will allow Joe to reduce his stress and frustration, drive safe, and focus on the important tasks. Check out Maximo at www.maximoapp.com.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Rideshare Rodeo Roundtable. Let's begin how we always do by welcoming the panel. We have Kim's Side Money Plans. we have Gary, or Joe as he's otherwise known. Hannibal will be joining us shortly. John is off this week celebrating his mother's 70th birthday. So
nice. Happy
birthday to John's mother. And tonight we have a very special guest. We have Mr. GigLife Lavaris with us. So yeah, this is gonna. I'm looking forward to this. This will be fun. I don't even know, Lavaris. Have you done live stream? I mean, I'm sure you have, but have you done live streams with other people? Have you done collabs?
Yeah. I think maybe a year and some change. I did one. My first one actually was with Hannibal. That was like the first live stream Hammer. Live stream collab I did, and I've done some live ride-alongs on my own channel.
Right. Yeah. But I meant more like collabs like this, like things like this, where
not like a whole roundtable where other people are there. Yeah. It was kind of like a one-on-one situation.
Okay. So I'm sure we'll get into some of the things about what you do. Oh, I'm super stoked that you're here joining us. If everybody could please hit that like button if you haven't already. And we got some Instacart we'll talk about. I think that I watch a lot of your TikTok too, as much as when I do something on TikTok, when I get on TikTok, there's so few things I can watch because honestly, I only go there to create and then leave.
That's the best way to do it because you can get sucked in.
Yeah, but I don't want my brain to turn to 15 seconds.
That's where I am. That's bad.
I'm afraid if I hang out there too long, I'll become like 15 seconds is all I can handle.
Wait. I'm going to call BS on that because you send me TikToks.
Funny ones, though. Funny ones, though, dude. Well, dude, when you go there and you create something and you're on TikTok, you do spend a few minutes. I just don't spend the kind of time that some people are on TikTok.
I call it the rabbit hole. Like once you stop, like you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going.
They keep showing you what you like. It's like they know exactly what you like. As soon as I'm tired, they'll hit you with something that's like, oh, this is cool.
That is
3 hours.
TikTok probably has one of the best algorithms I've ever seen. Ever.
It's like it's hooked up to your brain already.
It is. Because I'll be laying there in bed and mine's a whole bunch of comedians. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to sleep. And then I'll swipe up one more. And then it's one that I really want to watch.
Or somebody new, you're like, oh, this cool person's cool. And you go to their page, you're in there for like 3 hours, and you're like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And it does the same thing that like we now know all the apps do. But like when I met Gary for the first time in St. Louis, he was talking about a trip he had just done to Branson on the way to St. Louis or whatever, that they had been to Branson. There was too much Branson talk around my phone. I've never said the word Branson or talked about visiting it. I don't know anything about Branson. I've never been.
Yeah.
And yet I had ads on my Hulu, on my TV, on my phone, on my YouTube. Everything was like, dude, light up Branson for this guy. He's got to go. I'm like, no. I was just talking to a friend getting the lowdown. You know? I don't know. It's sad because it's like even my YouTube, but then like, how can I, I know I don't even have Hulu on my phone, but we do have Hulu. Like, how did Hulu?
They all listen. They all
You have Alexa. Maybe Alexa was listening.
Oh, Amazon does. Amazon listens for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They some spying bastards.
Dude, I think they all do. And let's just be honest, they all do. And if one isn't, they pay a little fee to the ones that do, so that they can get turned on.
Well, I can tell you two are built into your phones. One is Apple, and one is Google. They're built directly in your phone. They have their own chipsets in your phone. That's how come you can say, "Hey Google" and "Hey Siri" and things like that. And it doesn't actually. Oh, shut up, Siri. Jeez, he's popped up.
Oh, she's in there with you. The call's coming from inside the house.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was a few winters ago that Amazon had a thing that they would send you. It looked like one of those little like flying devices that was like $15 at a gas station, but it would fly around your house and it would tell you things that you needed.
No, I never heard of that.
Like, oh, you have that couch set? You need this end table.
It's kind of creepy-ish.
That is so creepy.
You invited that into your house? That's crazy.
Hell no.
I was like, wait, Steve's against robot and you got that flying around your house?
Kind of like you shoot it down, like really.
No, it was like, I remember it was like the first week of December, and they said that if you didn't even have to return it. It had a one charge Simple Life on it or something. And if you wanted it during like a 4-day period, you could just request one and it would send it to you.
I've never heard of that.
Well, I don't think they ever did it again. This might have even been pre-pandemic Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah, they did their 1 year of creepiness and that was it.
Yeah, they're like, hey man, let's fly around houses and videotape everything. All right. We'll get into it here, I guess. We're going to talk about a little rideshare here to start, because there's some things going on. I was on Kim and Zach's show. Thank you, Kim, for having me on last night.
Thanks for being there. It was fun.
Yeah, and it kind of got me looking into some of the other legislation and where we're at, because I get people asking all the time. So Illinois, and I want to thank Christopher Taylor because Christopher sent this to me. Obviously, I have been following this story for a long time, but he did send this to me. So I want to note when people send these out, even if I've seen the articles, because I'm glad he's on top of it. And he sent an article that actually relates to something that had stalled out a bit. So a new bill opposed by rideshare companies, Uber and Lyft, is moving closer to becoming law. A move that the companies say would force them to end services in Illinois. This is the one we were talking about probably about a month ago, and it was starting to slow, but the bill follows a case in which a Chicago woman sued Lyft after claiming she was sexually assaulted by the driver. Lyft argued since their drivers were defined by Illinois law not to be common carriers, they were not liable for any damages. A bill in the state capitol would remove the exemption of drivers of rideshare apps like Uber and Lyft and lump them in with carriers such as bus drivers, train conductors, airline pilots, and taxi drivers. And then they'd have to carry new liability. So if a bus rider for an unsafe ride sues the driver, the bus company can also be found liable for employing an unsafe driver under Illinois law. So clearly, Lyft and Uber are going at this huge. They have both put out the same gauntlet as California. It's not one of those weak-worded ones. Uber's is straight up, we'll leave if we have to become common carriers. We keep seeing all these all around the place, but I don't know. This has been going on for a while, and they are getting pretty close to it. They do have the votes. They have the support, and it's one of those bills where, can you even really argue it? I mean, like, everybody else is being held to this standard. Like, what do you do?
It's just crazy to me that a company is not held liable for something horrible that happened. I mean, granted, it was the driver, but still, the driver is under Uber's tent, so to speak. So it just baffles me that they're like, nope, not liable. Can't
Well,
blame me.
it's the driver's car. The driver's an independent contractor, and Uber offered them a job. They took it, and I think the big argument there being that this is all built into the IC thing, the independent contractor. Like, this is why we have independent you are responsible for what you do.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. How can you hold a company liable for something that a driver does?
Well, if they were using Uber or Lyft cars.
Well, if they were using Ubers, if they were employees, let's say that they were employees, I could see that.
Yeah.
But these aren't employees. These are, like you said, independent contractors that, they're given a contract to. They do their background checks, even though we know every background check is worthless. But they still do all that. And so, like, I don't think you can classify them for the same as what you would a bus driver.
I get that, but say I'm a passenger and something horrible goes wrong in my ride, and think the absolute worst. To me, as a person, like, I am in an Uber, like, I'm using Uber, I'm using their application, I'm using their app to hail this person. Yes, the person's an independent contractor, but to me, there's some even as a little bit sort of liability, because they're all ultimately responsible for me getting to point A to point B.
How do they do cabs in Illinois?
Taxis under the same thing, the common carrier.
Common carrier?
Yeah, they're like with buses and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky though, because like they take responsibility for some things. Obviously, like when they want a refund or something like that, they don't have the driver refund the customer. Uber steps in and say, okay, I'll give you your money back. So it's funny what they pick and choose, what they choose to put their nose into. But I always say no one's a criminal until they actually do the crime. So they get a clean background check and they don't have any intention. They don't know these people are gonna do something horrendous. But that's a very sticky situation.
Well, and then it makes the question: look, what happens when the same thing happens that happened in California? What happens when D-Day comes, and Uber and let's assume that this is no joke. I mean, we have no reason to think they're lying, that they'd leave. They've done the math. This doesn't work. Sorry, that's what they did in California. So what happens when D-Day comes? We already know that. So much of the California, but other markets too, are dependent now on rideshare. Their buses, their public transportation does not provide the transportation that is enough or that people use or need. People have gotten rid of cars. How do you really threaten a company, and especially in an area like Chicago or something, where transportation is a nightmare? Like, how do you threaten a company that we're going to do this? And I mean, I guess, if you have a good case and they have to, I get it. But I mean, like, if since 2014, when they got to Chicago rideshare, now they're coming after this, and you're going to say, well, you're a common carrier.
I guess it kind of depends on like how much of their pocketbooks are going to be hurting. It's almost like they're going to see who's going to call each other's bluff. And I mean, only saying that because not too long here in Austin, Austin had a regulation to where you had to have the drivers had to have a background check. I think that's common practice now. Yeah. But Uber's like, if you make us run a background check, we're pulling out of Austin. I think they pulled out of here for like 3 months, and clearly they're back because Austin's growing, and that's going to be hitting their pocketbook. So I really feel that's probably what's going to happen. They might pull out and see what the city says, or are they just going to have a stalemate and see who's going to budge first? But I mean, that's a big metropolis, and like you said, it's a lot of people dependent upon that transportation. So we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, but my guess is they would leave. I mean, if it comes down to it, like, okay, well, California at midnight, you guys gotta pay your fines or you gotta be out of here. I mean, 11:59, they were packing up in California and like closing shop.
I think it'd come down to what type of market share do they have there, because we know California is a big part of their market share. Is Chicago though? If Chicago's not big enough, it's easy to pull out. Like Austin, it was easy to pull out there because it was a small market share at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just California. Like Austin, I'm sure that like, even though, and I know that story of Austin where they pulled out, you guys have also had a lot of way more, at least than any other city I know of, more startup test rideshare companies that want to give it a real go. And again, proving that it's I don't want to say it's not doable, but it's extremely difficult to get any legs under a rideshare company and compete with these guys. I mean, they're just way too far in front of you to enter the game. I guess I shouldn't really be claiming Lyft is, but Lyft almost got like a piggyback ride to where they are. They're not doing a good job, but they are.
But even with the piggyback, they're going out of business.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they might actually open up the market. I don't know if you guys saw. I put up a short somewhere, but there's that new rideshare thing that's called Cruise, where it's those AI automated. There's like no drivers in front; it's all remote.
Oh,
so if they were to pull out of a place like Illinois or wherever, and these cruise people come in there, that would be something to see too. They've started to test them down here in Austin. I'm actually thinking about getting a ride just to see how that would be.
I was just going to ask you, because we've been following the San Francisco ones for a while. We've been watching them evade police. We've been watching them run the lights.
No one got pulled over by the police.
they are a nightmare. But I know that Austin, and I think you guys somewhat allow autonomous too, kind of like Phoenix.
Yeah, there's a few robots down here. The Cocos, like the little delivery things. You'll see them.
The mobile trash. We call them mobile trash cans.
Yeah, they get attacked, poor things. Yeah, but they're trying.
How hateful are people, man? The robots just trying to do their job.
Yeah, like they'll just kick them all. Like, what's going on?
No tip robot trip.
Guess so.
But you see it all over TikTok, though. Like people actually trying to help the robots, and they're like, "Thank you."
Yeah, don't attack us.
Okay, so real quick, I just need to tie this rideshare story in because I started reading it because I thought we were talking about the Connecticut bill that wants $36 an hour for active time and $1.30 per mile. This is a different bill. And it got shot down in their surprise. So I was glad to see it was shot down because it makes me think maybe you guys aren't so crazy. You think 36 an hour plus $1.30 a mile is going to work. But there was a proposed bill. This is, again, for rideshare. That basically same old story. The Connecticut drivers aren't making enough. They need to make more. So the bill was supposed to mandate better working conditions for rideshare drivers. The bill would have mandated minimum pay per ride, and it doesn't say how much. I find that interesting because we haven't seen that one yet. Reimbursement for canceled rides and other regulations that would help rideshare drivers better shoulder job expenses. And it's the lady who is the organizer for the Connecticut Drivers United, which is pushing the other bill, is the one behind like a lot of this. But I was trying to see where it got shot down because I was pretty surprised because I thought the way the other bill's going, this one is Connecticut Senate Bill 1180. If anybody wants to look it up, you can. But it's different from the one that one of the similarities to Colorado too is like one of the quotes here is that while we hoped for greater support for drivers this session and are disappointed that SB 1180 will not be moving forward, we remain hopeful that the task force is a step towards making those substantive changes. But so basically, there's some parts that sound like the Colorado one here. But then they got the other bill for money and stuff, but this one got it shot down real quick too. And now they do have, the difference here is that they did appoint, like I just mentioned there, they did appoint a committee. So is it the labor committee? But they made an actual, what they're going to call it, task force to look into all of this. And I find it interesting that we're going to, or that Connecticut wants more money, but instead they're going to pay taxes to have a task force look into it. So
what's there to look into?
I mean, dude, if it once I hear task force, I just think hundreds of thousands of dollars that are going to be wasted.
Yeah, that's first thing I thought too. Like, what is there to look into?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go get in a car and go drive.
Connecticut task force to study and to ease their pain is what the whole thing's over to.
To ease their pain?
The pain of not being able to make 3 times minimum wage. We already said this. The minimum wage is $10.40 in Connecticut.
Right.
And even the other bill is pushing for $36 an hour active time plus $1.30 a mile. I mean, Lavaris hasn't heard that, but that jokingly we've said that's doctor pay. like, doctors would quit and become rideshare drivers.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you at that point?
It's like, I mean, you're being so unrealistic. And I saw Gigan come in here. He's the one that sent the Minnesota bill. We're going to push this till tomorrow for Driver Nation, because it's a little long, but I think there's a lot to get into there. But Gigan, if you're still here, I would like to know, in the article that you sent me, it says Uber says the average cost of a ride between Minneapolis and St. Paul would rise to about $50 under this new bill's rule. The company also said there isn't insurance available for them to buy that would meet the bill's requirements. So the bill asks for things not even doable. But that Minneapolis to St. Paul, if you can put in the chat what that ride would be, the article was not clear. So I don't know what raising it to $50 means. No point of reference on that.
So it's going to raise them 49 to 50. A whole dollar.
If it was, I'd be. But Kim, hi. Do you want to do the? Is that? Let me see if that's where we are. Where I had thrown it. Yeah. Do you want to do the customer, the Uber Eats?
So there is an Uber Eats. Well, it was on TikTok, and it was from the Daily Dot. Basically, there's an Uber Eats customer who was highly upset because she does refunds all the time on Uber Eats because they never get her order correctly because she has a medical condition. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. She has mast cell activation syndrome that causes a person to have repeated severe allergy symptoms affecting several body symptoms, and supposedly she can't have cross-contamination of any sort, but still feels like she should order from Uber Eats and get a refund every time she orders from Uber Eats, and was not happy because she got that nice letter that Uber Eats sends out that says you've abused the system and can no longer do any returns. Well, she decided to go on TikTok, and this actually kind of got me upset, I'm not going to lie. Uber Eats reached out to her and reversed the whole entire thing, and she can now return as much as she wants.
That's dumb.
It's so ridiculous.
What did she do before Uber Eats? How is she getting nourishment before Uber Eats?
I don't know, but my thing, and I'm probably gonna get smashed for this, but it's all good. If you're that bad, like if you have allergies that bad to food, like you should not be ordering from Uber Eats because you don't know how the chef is cooking the food. You don't know how the restaurant is packaging the food. There could be cross-contamination, and you're going on a whim thinking, I don't know. I guess because my daughter has food allergies, so I'm so particular. Like we don't even do Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything because of that type of stuff. And I only do, if I do it, it's places that I know and I trust. But I don't rely on Uber Eats or DoorDash to do my allergy for me or my daughter's allergy for me. I would
also say, even after all these refunds, have anything caused her to get sick? Because it's not like she's getting the food eating it, still alive, then getting refunded. I would think after a severe allergy attack and a hospital visit, I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna risk my life for a takeout meal.
According to her, she keeps getting stuff and she can't possibly eat it because
don't order it.
I wonder, like, is she going back to the same restaurants or is it a new restaurant every time?
That's what I was wondering too. Like, what is she ordering? Does it say in the article?
I would love to know what she's ordering.
But this is my other. So she took to TikTok. So now she has thousands of people who have viewed this and now know that if they complain to Uber Eats that they have an allergy of any sort, Uber Eats will keep giving people refunds.
That's the downside about that whole viral situation.
Can I look at, if you're this lady, or if you're somebody that's just doesn't think like this lady, or whatever, if you just can't think, if your brain doesn't work, or if you're scamming the system, don't use Uber Eats. Use Dumpling. Get a personal shopper who can shop for your needs if you are unable to go, for cheaper. There you go. Shameless plug.
There's your dumpling plug.
Yeah, but I think now is she ordering groceries or is she ordering food?
Well, maybe she should be sticking to groceries. In my opinion,
that's what I don't get is how can you order food? Like I've had to go in there and complain to Uber that something's missing. I've never seen anything going, I got an allergy.
Yeah, like my macaroni and mashed potatoes are crossed.
Yeah, like I've never had any type of report for that. Like it's either something's missing, something's damaged, or something doesn't taste good. There's no, hey, my stuff's cross-contaminated.
And I mean, she would have to, she would have to taste it, right? And then that would activate the allergy.
She'd have to have an allergic reaction to it.
And I mean, she just sees the beans in the corn, and she's like, I can't eat that. But that's just weird. That's just a very strange situation.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. I call BS on this.
I'm saying she's a scammer.
That gets my brain going.
Yeah. I call BS. I think she just wants to keep getting refunds, and
because I mean, I know people that have allergies. I don't have a whole lot of allergies to anything. In fact, I don't have any that I know of. But like Kim, you know your daughter has allergies. So you're not going to order something if you know, like I don't think anybody out there that would do that.
Yeah.
Or actually,
I would be the worst mom ever if I did that. Like, why?
Right.
Plus, I gotta say, for all the people that get deactivated for no reason, or the true complaints, which there's more fake ones than true ones and all this, I almost, I hate siding with these companies, but on this one, for everything I hate these companies for, I almost want to side. They should have, Uber Eats should have just stuck with her band.
Right?
Not unbanned her. And if she wanted to go to court over it, be like, fine, you go explain to a judge how your life is in a bubble, but you eat McDonald's every night. Okay, you want to do that? By all means, let's go to court.
Or hop out. Go to DoorDash.
I think that was the part of the article that just literally burned me up, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So you make this TikTok, Uber Eats comes running to you and says, okay, we'll lift the ban off of you, return as much as you want. Are you kidding me? I don't know.
I'm gonna get some food allergies.
And the thing is she's probably one star in these drivers.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And tip baiting them.
But see, again, why give her back her account?
Yeah.
That's my
if I'm her, I'm going to get 100 credit cards and just really up that game.
Yeah, order food for everybody in the family. You get McDonald's. You get McDonald's. Just everybody gets McDonald's.
So GigLife Dashing Grandpa says howdy to you because you guys are both in Texas.
Oh, hey, yes, I know Dashing Grandpa.
And by the way, guys, I always try and remember that, but when this ends, always go over and check out Dashing Grandpa. He goes live kind of when we end, and it's a nice, sometimes cool down from the night. I like Brandon's stream, so big fan. Okay, the Instacart driver that gets her car stolen and still delivered the order. Did you see about this?
Yeah, I saw that.
You did see this? So what do you think about the article?
Well, I thought the clip, and I've said this many times on my channel, and this is my personal things. I don't care if I'm going 2 feet from my car, I turn my car off. I take my keys out of the ignition. I close the door. I lock the door, and I drop the food off. I never leave my car running. I don't care how far it is. And that's just, and then when you listen to the clip, she was even delivering to the wrong house. She's like, did y'all order Instacart? And the person's like, no. And she's like, oh, yeah. And she's like, I think she like looking up to like the top floor, and the woman was like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, did you see? They just run off with our car. That's crazy.
Yeah, and you hit on it, but the fact that she said that whatever it was about the lock, she's like, that she was almost defending, like, well, I didn't lock it because I was only gonna be gone for a second.
And I get that. Like, you don't think anything's gonna happen, especially like maybe it's like a nice neighborhood. I just don't take the chance.
I never take the chance.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, how do you even say that to somebody? They're like, oh my god, my car was stolen. I'll
Did
just
you lock it?
Right. And when they say that, like, oh, I just, I was only gonna be gone for a second. Well, now you can see why you don't do that.
Besides the safety issue, you should always take the keys with you so you don't end up on a show like this and us making fun of you. So you lost your car and you didn't take the keys with you.
And sometimes your keys are your only weapon. You got to take your keys with you. You might be able to use them as a weapon. So I don't leave my keys in my car.
We've talked about this before, multiple times. If you don't have safety features built into your car, turn off your damn car.
Please.
Yeah.
Half these people would not be in the news if they just took their own safety precautions.
Oh, it's going to be funny the day that somebody goes to get in my car, because I do leave my car running whenever I go up to do it, but my keys are in my pocket. And I have the safety feature that if you get in and you touch the brake, it shuts off automatically.
See, that's different. Different.
And so it's going to be priceless seeing the guy that I punch in the face as he tries to steal my car.
Yeah, I don't think she had that safety feature.
Yeah.
I don't think she had any safety feature.
No, she didn't. If they drove off with their car, they definitely didn't have no safety feature.
Yeah, they burned off. They burned off in my car.
Yeah, I just watched the little TikTok thing too. It's pretty funny.
But nowadays, though, like with everything that's happening to delivery drivers, like people are praying that you mess up somewhere. That's the easiest mess up for drivers to do, and for someone just to take advantage of a situation.
People are getting desperate out there. They're even saying like this, not even delivery drivers. People at the grocery stores need to be more alert because they are now becoming the targets of car theft. It used to be the malls, and now like malls are getting shut down. I mean, people go there, but they're like, you don't know. They're like little like a investigation. Like if you just like look at the people, everyone's just picking the food up and put it in their car. No one's looking around, and they walked up on this one woman, and they said, "You see how close we got up on you? You weren't even looking." She had like the baby in the car. She had the purse still out. And she's like, "Oh my god, I didn't even pay attention." She's like, "Yeah, you need to start checking your surroundings." And if you are doing grocery shopping, really start checking, because that's where they move their targets to, grocery shopping.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't.
Yeah, we all. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to take your car. I can't do stick shift.
They're gonna get in there and go, "What is this?" Nope.
But yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, I really, not only because of the times we're in now and the stories going around, but I don't understand. Like, we never have why you left your car running or why it's not locked, any of the above. But we do know, and I almost hate to say this, we do know the one deterrent to get people to jump out of your car if they have stolen, it's to leave a baby in the back that they don't want to deal with.
Oh, that's horrible.
Don't you remember the story about the lady who had their car jacked while she was taking the groceries inside that we did?
No.
And then
she was like, "No, my kid's in there." He's like,
the guy jumped in it, and there was a baby crying. He's like, "No way." He jumped
that's right. I do remember that. You're like, nope, not happening. Is that the one that also crashed into a wall because he didn't want the kid in the car? Is that the same one?
Wow, he didn't want any responsibilities, huh?
I think he wanted the situation to be at the wall. Like he was taking off in the car, and he's like, "Oh crap, a baby!" And he like ran into the wall,
no,
knowing that everybody would go for that situation, and just ran. But I'm not laughing at it. I just even find that to be more irresponsible and stupid, to be honest. A running car with a baby in it, in a baby seat, and unlocked.
Yeah, that is way more irresponsible. I agree.
I mean,
not the baby.
Right. So this Uber seeks. Did you see that Uber not only wants to do this, but they want the patent to pre-match riders and drivers using AI?
What? How?
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Like you can't favorite a driver, but now they want to pre-match you.
That's what I'm saying. What are they going to be using?
Yeah, like what is like we have to put on our data for them to know what our like.
I'm guessing it's like Branson, Missouri. They just know everything, dude. They've been listening to us, and
I had to change my music then.
yeah, I mean, again, you know, like it's
Wait, what are they basing?
so here it is. It says ride-hailing giant Uber is seeking a patent to patent a system that forecasts customers' potential ride requests by feeding context data contained in Uber user profiles, such as usage history or location data, or a machine learned model that uses AI to find patterns in users' habits. The model then determines whether the user should be considered for pre-request matching, by which a driver can relocate to an optimal location to reduce wait times in the event the user requests a ride. Drivers,
I thought they already did all that.
Left, like
drivers would have the option of accepting or rejecting a match in the same way they can choose or accept or decline a ride request.
We don't have time to do all that. We have to like read their profiles.
To me, it's like, I mean, if I called it, if Uber dating is next.
I was say it sounds like Tinder. I swear to God.
Got a nice ring to it though. Uber dating.
Wait, now my thing is why are they just now applying for a patent for this? You know they've been doing it for years.
Well, because I think they want to. I mean, and who are they patenting against? Lyft? They won't even be here by the time the patent passes.
I mean, because you'd have to be crazy not to think that Uber doesn't already take all the data that's in their app and your profile and your ride histories and things like that to know that, hey, this person takes a ride every morning at 8 a.m. Like they know that.
Okay, but I mean, doesn't the part where it says where was it here? So it's getting your usage history, your location, where you go.
Yeah, they already have all that.
Right, but now openly admitting that it uses AI to find patterns in users' habits. It doesn't go any farther to explain how deep they're going and what they're looking into.
Wouldn't it be real?
What are you looking into here, guys?
Wouldn't it be really funny if like you get one of those pain in the butt customers that always gives drivers 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, and they only match up the drivers with like really bad ratings because they keep
and it works out. Now they all 5-star each other. I love that idea, but God, I don't want that to work. If Uber proved they could do something, it would be such a setback. Look what we did. Like, no, dude.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is they're taking it a further step and patenting it with the AI model instead of their current model that they have, which isn't AI. It's
algorithmish.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing I can think of because we know that they're doing all that stuff already.
Right. And it even says, Gary, it says commercial applications for AI technology, such as what Uber seeks to do, has significant potential, but also raises privacy concerns. And it also goes on to say that they're already using this. I see it as dating. I think it's dating. I just think it's not dating yet, but I think it's going to be dating.
Well, over the next, because AI is a big thing this year for whatever reason, even though it's still way out there, we don't actually have AI.
It's because of chat. It's because of chat.
I know, but right now everybody's on this AI train and whatnot. And so over the next year, you're going to see a lot of patents come out for AI this, AI that. And I think that's all Uber is doing is just getting ahead of all that.
Okay, but they have a 70% on mark like facial recognition in Europe that they run. Like they're running at 70%. It's like as bad as they're autonomous. Like what is this going to do? You know, I mean, what are you going to do? Say, wow, I'm getting really cool clients now. I think you're still going to get jerks. I don't think it's going to help. Like, I don't think it'll do anything. That's why these are the kind of the reasons I think they don't make money. I think they spend it on crap like this that they know it's not going anywhere. They probably spend like 200 grand, cook the books to be like $1 million, and get that 800,000 to early venture capitalists who were involved. And then again say, because what does every article read for Uber after an earnings period? We're doing great, but we didn't make a profit again. Like, how great are you doing? You've been around since 2009. You've never made a profit. Come on.
Well, but I mean, we've talked about that before too. Like, they say they don't make a profit, but yet their CEO makes what, 50 million a year.
That's what I'm getting at. And I believe even venture capitalists get paid, like Vital. I guarantee Vital was not. I bet even they laughed when they said that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. They're purposely losing money.
We can't. That won't work. Yeah, we know. But dude, people are so stupid they'll actually believe this.
Right.
Like, let's just say we're putting millions in it, and then we'll pull it out and give it to you.
They want to lose money for tax purposes and things like that. Overpaid certain departments. Make sure their investors make their money.
I mean, Lyft, if you're listening, Gary has offered a few times. He can run your company into the ground quicker than it's going on.
I can, for cheaper than what you're paying that new guy too. And I got some luck too. We might bring it back. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, we might. Probably not though.
I was gonna say something really funny, but I'm not. I have never mind. I'm not gonna make a.
How are you gonna do that and then not say it? Come on.
How are you gonna do that?
I was gonna say I had the song "I'm Bringing Sexy Back," but I'm bringing Lyft back in my head with Gary's song.
Well, I guess Lavaris, while we have you here, what is your worst experience with all gig work?
Now, like when you ask that question, like your head starts spinning. I guess the worst thing would just be being deactivated and not given a reason why, which happened my first run with Shipped. So that's probably the worst thing I can think of.
Oh, I meant yeah, that's cool. But I meant like client wise. Have you had any that stand out?
No, not really. All kind of running. I don't think I've had anybody that's just been like, today is the day I'm going to quit. Like, I haven't had anybody be rude to that point. I mean, you've had some. I have like basic frustrations, no gate code, no communication. But I've had anybody be rude to me. Haven't had anybody do anything crazy. I mean, I guess the only thing that I could say would be the most recent DoorDash contract violation, where I followed this person's instructions to the letter, and they said that they still didn't get their food. But she wasn't directly like yelling at me. It was just a contract violation that showed up after I dropped the food off. But yeah, nothing wild.
But tip baiting? Have you suffered tip baiting?
Only once, actually, in Instacart. But even still, I kind of just feel like that's just like the risk you take when you do these kind of things. I can't be that upset about it, even though it does suck. But yeah, that happened. It was kind of crazy because the woman and we had like really good conversation throughout the entire shop. She was like right there when I was replying. She's like, "Oh yeah, just come bring it and leave it on my porch, and I'll come out and get it." I was like, "Okay, cool." And I dropped it off and took the picture. I'm pulling around and she's like, "Baby, thank you." And I get like a mile down the street, and then I just update my app to make sure I actually hit that I delivered it. And I saw that the value of it dropped tremendously. I was like, that's weird. I said, well, I'll give it to the end of the night because maybe something just went wrong. Maybe I'm in a dead zone. I don't know. And yeah, it said that the customer removed the tip completely down to zero. Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy. That's good.
Yeah,
I like asking people because like tip baiting, especially, people used to say it's never happened to me. I don't even think it's a real thing. Now at least people are starting to understand it's very real, but some people more than others. Or a lot of people
I just think the percentage of tip baiting is lower than what it actually is.
Right, like people wanting to get on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean,
I got tip baited. No, you didn't.
Because I've been doing this a long time. I don't know how long everybody or GigLife's been doing it, but I can count on one hand all my tip baits over the last, 5 years in food delivery.
Right.
So, and I think we hear more about it because it happens to people. And then, everybody's like, oh, yeah, I know somebody got tip baited. Oh, I know somebody got tip baited. But not everybody gets tip baited on a daily basis.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, but I do know. I do think
I will say one exception to that, though. New York. Apparently, New York is bad about tip baiting. Everybody I know that works in New York complains every day about tip baiting.
What was I looking for here? So, I just lost it.
Oh, Ellen, you should go back and get your nails done and then not tip her.
No, she can make a whole TikTok out of that. Just go back, get your nails done, say, "Where's my tip?"
Oh, okay. Yeah. So here we go. This I brought up with you I sent it to you and Zach last night, Kim. I sent you that screenshot of the average hourly pay.
Yeah, I find it very, very fascinating, actually, because we were going back and forth
because all three of us had a different take on this. Yeah, it was crazy. So I want to talk about this though because so there's a key takeaway in that article too that says you can expect to make around $15 to $25 per hour with DoorDash, according to Indeed. So this is Indeed doing the study. The average salary for a DoorDash delivery driver in the U.S. is $16 an hour, but you can maximize your earnings by driving busier hours, sticking to high traffic areas, and taking chances and running red lights or something. I don't know. But I'm trying to find those numbers again because I wanted to see what other people thought.
I have it still.
Where is it?
Do you want me to read it off?
Or if you can you share it?
Can I do that? Yeah, hold on.
Well, if it's on your phone, Kim.
Well, it's an image. Or okay.
Yeah, I can save it to a Google Drive and upload it.
If you just text it to me right now, Kim, I can share it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very interesting, and I specifically want to talk about it because Lavaris is here, because I know you are in Austin. I don't know if you're familiar with handle Random Ryan. He's in Austin as well. He's around YouTube. He doesn't have a channel. I've met him through Long Island Dash Experience, and he's been in a lot of chats here and there. But he's in Austin, and we often talk about Instacart in Austin. He says it's amazing, or has said in the past. Well, I mean. Not in the past like 4 months. I probably haven't discussed it with him, but yeah, compared to other markets, what he makes is much better than other markets. And so this is what Indeed pulled, and Indeed actually had a lot of records because of these things actually get posted on Indeed. So they actually had a lot of information taken in on this. But I just find this crazy. This is the average hourly rate for the platforms. Nationwide.
Does he only do Instacart here, or does he multi-app?
I don't know. I feel like he does just do it. We've even joked with him because he's shown us screenshots and stuff, but he makes like a lot of money on Instacart. Like I see the basic whatever it is now, $8 orders with no tip, like 60 units.
That's fascinating.
But he sees some things in Austin that I don't see anywhere. But this is crazy.
In Austin, I'm not seeing.
You know, Uber Eats $17.41 is the hourly average. Instacart $24.37, Grubhub $16.60, Amazon Flex $18.97, and DoorDash $16. Does anybody agree or?
I completely disagree.
On which all?
I think it depends on your market. Yeah.
I mean, with the Instacart thing, if you're looking at it per hour, like if every hour I took I'm sure like every hour a 20-something order would come through, but like averaging it out throughout an 8-hour day and your time and all the other expenses, I don't see that being like the real average for that. If we're just saying every hour I'm seeing a 24 like order, yes, but 24 per like ratio hour, no, absolutely not.
And so, Kim, what would you do with this one?
Well,
Or what would I mean, again, we always say it's market to market. I see Brandon saying he would take $1 off each one. Dashing Grandpa
now
says he'd
for
take $1
me,
off each one. So
well, it is market specific. For me, DoorDash is like the moneymaker in my market. So for me, to me, DoorDash, even if you didn't have any of like the large order programs or stuff like that, I think 16 to like $20 an hour is a little bit more accurate. If you had all the programs, it's probably about $20 to $25 per hour. Um, Uber Eats and Grubhub are like almost non-existent in my area, and if you do get orders, it's like $5 here, $5 there. Like it's not the way it used to be. So I have a hard time with Grubhub and Uber Eats being more than DoorDash, just because you can't get the orders that would sustain $1 per hour. And then Instacart $24, that's a little crazy to me. I can't there I don't think I can do Instacart and make that hourly rate.
yeah,
I don't see those orders coming
No,
in.
I mean, I think they're all low because I can pretty much turn on any of these in my market and make over $20 an hour.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. Like I don't know. I guess I just see it like when you also think logically at market share, right? So DoorDash has 65% of the market share, but yet you're saying that DoorDash is the lowest out of the three, yet they have 65% of the market share. I think Uber Eats has 29% of the market share, and Grubhub, I can't remember what Grubhub was last year. I think it was maybe like 11 or like 15%, but yet they're higher as an hourly rate. So that's what I have a hard time with.
right. Yeah.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, each market there, and I see Bud Soda asked about, yeah, and Edward even Lee says this is likely 100% active time, and it is. This study is done on active time. So I don't know. I mean, we all have our own. That's why I was kind of wanting to bring it up, because I wanted to see what everybody's numbers were on these platforms. Like Lavaris, what would you? You don't have to be exact with us if you don't want to give away numbers, but
Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, normally I'm probably averaging probably I would say a good $21 per hour in most of these things. Cause I'm multi-app, but I definitely don't like I've seen other people's channels and how they move through stuff. I'm pretty relaxed when it comes to doing this stuff. And there's some orders that actually probably would pay me well, but I just don't want to bother with the store, don't want to bother with the order. So I definitely probably could make more, but right now I'm probably averaging a good $21 an hour, multi-app in between the ones that I do have. Now, when I had Corner Shop, that was a different story. I was doing so much more money per hour and doing a lot less work. I didn't even have to multi-app. I was just doing Corner Shop.
right.
I know you were a big Corner Shop person. Like, how has like Corner Shop gone away? Like, really affected your earnings as far as your area is concerned?
It affected it a lot. It affected it a lot. It really. I mean, like I started looking at the Instacart order. An Instacart order compared to a Corner Shop order. Let's say if it was a $24 Instacart order, you're probably going to be getting 20 plus items on there on an Instacart order. Corner Shop, you can go in there for 15 items, make the same amount of money, if not more, if it was a multiplier. So it really cut it almost. I don't say like almost cut in half. I could literally go out in half the time, like from like 5 to 7, and probably pull $200 in Corner Shop. That's how like better they were paying.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. I see that Gig Geezer's in here too, and he says these numbers don't apply, at least for me, when you work multiple apps like I do. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, especially with the DoorDash ones. A lot of DoorDashers only do DoorDash. I mean, not everybody's multi-apping.
Yeah.
Right. And like Light said right here, there are a lot of bad markets, and there are majority of drivers are part-time drivers out there. So they're not going to be as in a big of a hurry to make that $20 to $30 hour mark like we are, since we're full-timers.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for me, Instacart, I don't even think that's a possible 1 hour in an 8-hour day in this market.
I bet you it is. I bet you
it's not.
I bet you should try it.
I'll try it when you're here so you can watch it fail, dude.
I'll drive and you can do the shopping.
It's fine, whatever. It's not. It won't change anything. We can run. And it's not going to matter. Watch the offers, man. We're not even going to accept anything.
Yeah, no, we're going to accept them. No, we're going to accept every offer.
How are we accepting $8 with no tip and 70 units?
Yeah, we are. Because then we're going to do it like supermarket sweepstakes.
I was going to say, are you guys going to do it like supermarket sweep? Because that would be pretty awesome.
Hell yeah, we are. I'm going to be behind him all the time, just screaming as we're running through the store.
Aisle 20. Aisle 20. It's by the dog food.
Yeah. I would get the megaphone. I get a megaphone. I just stand at the front of the store asking the register what aisles it's on.
Yeah, so before we wrap this up tonight, I want to talk about this. I was trying to see which articles we should push till tomorrow because I know Tom will want to get into some of these, but there's obviously a Daily Dot. Obviously, Lavaris is familiar with Daily Dot because he ends up in this public.
I shouldn't be. They never asked me for anything. Somebody just like, you're on Daily Dot. I'm like, oh, again? Yeah, they never call me, never send me any checks, no Christmas cards, nothing.
I actually emailed you the last time.
They just don't. They just pull your stuff.
But so this article is about a DoorDash driver shares the no delivery orders. It's talking about no delivery orders, which I know we've talked about it, and I think Kim, you're a big fan, right? No,
what
of shop? Maybe you're not even
shop and pay.
Shop and pay, or is it even pay? What is it? It's shop and. Because you're not paying.
Shop and pay. You do have to pay because you have to shop and pay for it.
You have to do the.
Or are you talking about the ones you just go pick up? Don't the DoorDash have like ones where they're already shopped? You just pick up the bags.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming. No, she's talking about doing the shopping. So
shop and pay.
Yeah, okay. But there were some odd concerns in this one. Normally, the Daily Dot is just funny. It's worth watching the video and stuff. But there rose some odd concerns to me because it was saying how some people cancel the actual pickups or how are they getting them out and where is this stuff being stored, especially cold things. And they said, well, there are some things that coolers and stuff that no, they don't. In most, I mean, they're just putting them on. They're not like making sure everything's cooled or frozen or whatever. They're just putting them out to be taken.
Like the pickup orders. That don't sound like it sounds like someone's shopping the orders and they're storing them somewhere in the store. And the customers are concerned about the perishables. Because when we go do the shop and pay, we take it off the shelf, put it in our cart, and if we have a cooler, we do it that way. I'm kind of confused as to which feature they're talking about.
I'd say even if they don't have a cooler and you do a shop and pay, like they will at least have hot bags and stuff like that in your car that actually keeps the stuff cool. At least that's what I do. If I don't have like my Instacart stuff with me, like I just literally put it in my hot bags, which is also a cool bag, and it keeps everything nice, still frozen and cool. So
most of those orders are pretty small anyway, so you're not shopping like an Instacart order with like 50 items. And most people should know you'll get the cold stuff last, if that's even the case. And like you said, you'd have your insulated bags in the car to put like something, ice cream, frozen pizza, or something like that. But there's normally just like a handful of some you just run in there to get that I've seen.
Well, then excuse my ignorance on this one because I want to know like are there just are there A to B delivery people then that aren't?
That's what I heard. I heard the DoorDash has two methods now. There's the shop and pay where you go in there and physically shop the list. And there's another one where you go pick up like pre-shop bags.
They do have pickup, like my local Acme. They have shop and pay, but you also have, it just comes up Acme
curbside.
It doesn't even come. It comes up Acme, but it's like a different font and like it doesn't say pickup. I forget what it actually says, but just kind of by the font, it's like a pickup order that you literally go inside. They actually have everything in the cart ready for you. You literally just wheel it out, put it in your car, and deliver it.
Yeah.
But point pickup is a little different because theirs is shopped, but then there's like a designated room they have with coolers that has everything frozen and chilled out until you get there. I just don't think DoorDash has that set up with them yet.
But usually, even if you put, like, at least my local Acme, like, if you pick up the groceries from them, they actually have their stuff in the cooler, like ice cream and all the cold stuff, that when you get there, they just open the fridge and ice like freezer that the stuff is in, put it in your cart, and then you go. So unless you're traveling like 10 to 15 miles, it shouldn't be that much of an issue.
Like the produce cooler, yeah.
Yeah.
So are you doing shops for the store too for customers?
Yeah.
And we know that Kroger's starting to have their own fleet of cargo vans that are refrigeration trucks and stuff and whatnot, or box trucks. But are you doing it for the store too? Is DoorDash saying, hey, we have some customers that do pickup, come do their shops for them?
No, it's usually customers who order on DoorDash through Acme that we do the shopping for. So say like I go onto the DoorDash app and I choose Acme and I want to get bread, milk, eggs, whatever. I can do it right through the DoorDash app, and then a Dasher goes to the shopping and delivers it to my house.
Am I crazy in thinking that this is not a 2-man job?
I mean, sometimes it is though, because like Walmart, for example, they have the curbside, the where Spark drivers pick up. So sometimes people shop that and then we pick it up.
And not too long ago, Instacart had that. I know in Sam's, there was like designated Instacart shoppers, and they were scheduled. So they would have a full shift and they would do nothing but just shop Instacart. And we would get an order that says pick up only. And you go to an area that had like little coolers. It was all like boxed up and you just take it out of the store. But those people never left the store. They stayed there and shopped the entire day. I don't know how they got paid, like how the payout worked for them, but they were all day shoppers.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. If you don't have a car or something and you want to work some gig apps, and then like you just come to the store and box stuff up all day. Yeah, I mean, like that's cool. I get that. But if it's like somebody with a car that's like going in to do the shop, and then this other car comes to pick it up, it's like, really? Like this seems pretty unnecessary. I don't know. I mean, it seems like maybe it's a way of breaking up the bad pay. Like the bad pay of like an Instacart order. Like when you look at
there's some people who like to shop, but they don't want to drive around,
Yeah.
They don't want to deliver. They don't want to put themselves in those hotel situations. They just want to shop the store, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, let's see what everybody's got going on, because I think I was just trying to look. The only other thing that I saw that was maybe worth even bringing up was that Uber Flight is in UK now too, and I don't even care about that as much because like we already joked about who would book their travel through Uber, but they are trying to take over Hopper. And if anybody's familiar with Hopper, it's a service that tries to get you cheap flights. But I'll be honest, you can beat it on almost every other app. Hopper sucks. Like, well, I don't know. Again, it's an Uber move. Let's buy something that sucks, integrate it, and say that we're travel agents.
Well, it works out for Hopper.
Hopper's like, so you're going to pay us though, right?
Yeah, right. Like I've seen your earnings report. You do have money, right?
Right, because we're not taking Uber stock.
Right.
We're not trading up or trading down here. But yeah, I don't know. Kim, what do you got going on?
What do I have going on? I am doing a whole bunch of, like I said, content lately, mainly DoorDash related, but I throw a couple of things in between there with Uber Eats and Grubhub and anything else that pops up. Still maintaining my acceptance rate for, maintaining it throughout the entire month for Top Dasher. So, stay tuned for that. I had Steve on last night from Money Hungry. So thank you, Steve, for being our very first guest last night.
Yeah, why would you pick Steve? There's so many other options for the first guest.
So next week on Money Hungry, which is on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, Sergio will be our guest next Wednesday. We have a whole bunch of new lineups coming up. So, stay tuned on the Rideshare Guy on Wednesdays at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm here on Thursdays with this fantastic crew, and then rinse and repeat, and we start the week all over again. So busy, but tons of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And content constantly dropped through the week.
Look right here, Bud Soda's volunteering.
There you go.
And I'm going to pull a quick little Anchorman move here on Sergio. Sergio, number 2. Number 1.
He's gonna like literally kill you for saying that.
I know he is. It's all right.
It's okay. You're just starting a war.
No, it's because between him and I, it's just friendly joking.
I know.
He knows how to take a joke, unlike a lot of people. So, Gary, what about you? Gig Wars, or what's up?
Yeah, well, I got Driver Nation with you tomorrow. So everybody tune into that. What is it, 7 to 9 Eastern? Got Gig Wars, of course. That app's going. So if you haven't downloaded the Gig Wars app, go download the Gig Wars app. And then I got DWH Maximo, of course. Always go download those. And other than that, I'm just working on my new app that I haven't told anybody about yet.
He's
mystery.
Yeah. Except for Kim.
Or
yeah.
Kim.
I like
Kim
how
does.
she just coughed too.
She's like,
I love Sergio Bud Soda. I like Sergio too. I love him. I've known him for a long time, so we're good.
I know you're not telling anybody what the app is, but do you have a launch date yet for when possibly it'll come out?
No, I mean, I got so much going on right now. I don't want to promise nobody nothing. The Android side is very close to being done, and then I'll work on the iOS side.
Excuses.
And GigLife, what do you got going on?
I planned out a few videos. It's just a matter of getting them shot. Honestly, these days I've just been taking it very, very slow and very, very easy, and just kind of, I don't know, just kind of chilling out mostly. More videos are coming. I'm pretty much starting to focus more on like my art side. I've been trying to get my art channel off the ground, but I'm very inconsistent over there. But just ungig related, just doing some more art shows, being more creative on that side, and that's pretty much my focus for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I saw your. I don't know. I don't even know what your primary platform is. Is it YouTube, or are you? Because I see you on all of them. I don't know.
Everywhere. I'm everywhere.
But I liked your. Was it just? I think it was just this week. I liked your video because I know it wasn't too long ago that you even started doing DoorDash or even trying it. After I know you've been around for a while, but you have never done it. And I saw your video where you were talking about like, oh, let's see what my driver, what my driver Mike has to say about me. And I'm like going, okay, like I didn't know that side of you, so I'm thinking, okay, let's see how he acts to this. And I thought you were such a professional about it. The way you were like, you're like, that's good advice. Okay, can take that under.
I was just having fun with it.
Oh, I know, but it was funny that he called you out by name too. He's like, now he's taking a shot at this.
And he pronounced my name right. Not a lot of people pronounce my name. I was like, how do you even know who I am? But it was fun.
So, well, you guys, that's a wrap. We'll catch you tomorrow on Driver Nation. Thank you, as always, to amazing panel, or at least Kim and Gary, and of course to our guest, GigLife. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight or for watching on the replay. Be safe, earn smart. Peace, y'all. And with that said, have a good night. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Go see Brandon.
Well, midnight headlight, blinding on a rainy night, steep grade up ahead, slow me down and making no time. I gotta keep on rolling. Goes a windshield.